Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to FM23 Youth Factory. This is episode 13. It's the final match of the regular season, and we have little things to play for. The big things are done. We wrapped up the title quite a while ago, quite comfortable. We sit on 88 points through 31 matches played. This, our 32nd and final match. What we're playing for is statistical milestones. The little stuff. The little stuff that make a big difference to stat junkies like myself. Alright, so here's the scenarios. First off, a win puts us over 90 points, so yeah, that's not significant, especially after we had over 100 a season ago. We have dropped some points this season. Bick over the top and bags our first goal. That's a start. That's a start because we've got some objectives today, and this is early. We have just entered. In fact, it looks like it was still in the 4th minute when he grabs this goal here. Yeah, 3:51, 3:53, 3:54. Yeah, inside 4 minutes played. First goal already in the books. All right, well, let's start with the other end. I want to keep a clean sheet today, and here's why. We have given up 20 goals. Today is our 32nd match. Doing the math with that, 2 goals every 3 matches would give up 21. We don't quite hit that mark. But if we give up 20, we are giving up less. We are giving up fewer than 0.66. Now that's a pretty minor statistical set. But 20 is also a nice round number. 20 goals given up on the entire season. I like the sound of that. Bick! Oh, just wide. Just wide. Another great chance. Great through ball there. Missed that opportunity. Jones! Keeper makes a big save. My sticky note with my stats are falling down. Okay. So that's the defensive one. The rest, either offensive or a combination of the two. Let's go into the offensive since we've done defensive. Offensively, we've scored 109 goals this season. We are already beyond a rate of 3 goals per match. We have a very legitimate shot at reaching off the post. He's got a wide open teammate. I think keeper maybe was playing the pass there, and that's why he went for the near post himself. But yeah, big miss on that occasion. 8 shots already. We've played over half an hour. Brooks off the post again. That one looked like it hit the crossbar pretty heartily and kind of skimmed up and over it, or had some major English on it and spun up and over it. McDonald gets there first. Here's Jones. So 109 goals. Now 110 goals on the season. Another fairly clean, but not the easiest number in the books as we make that 111. And we are one shy. One shy now of 112, which would equal 3.5. 3.5 goals per match. Too far off. We would need another 16 in this match to reach 4. We're not going to hit that, but 3.5. That's a nice landmark right there. A nice milestone. Cahill. Oh, no, a second yellow. Is that a second yellow or is that this first? Oof. They're showing yellow, I think, before he... No, that is. Wow. There's only been 2 yellow cards shown all match. Both of them going to Cahill. Both of them in the first half. Both of them just 8 minutes apart. Jamtown now playing with 10, which is going to make them ultra defensive. I think that clean sheet's looking pretty dang good right now. However, teams are always hitting us on the counter, and that's how that works to begin with. Can we negate that counterattack? But how well can we keep the offense going? 12 shots, 5 on target, 1.5 XG, 2 goals. Second half underway, and now the combination. Goals plus goals against means goal differential. And that goal differential is one of those landmarks we've been looking at the last 2 seasons. Last year, we came up just shy. As Gordon! Flag stays down? No. Flag was down, but the ref calls it offside. I'm looking straight at the AR, and he's got the flag down. But the referee himself decides that he's going to call that offside. Ooh, that's a strange one right there. Really strange one. We have no VAR here, so it is what it is, but our third goal ends up being disallowed. Jones loses that ball. Anyway, goal differential. We have 88 points this season. We have a goal differential of 89. Right now, as things stand at 2-0, we have a goal differential of 91. We win today's match, which we are doing. We claim 3 points, and that will put us at 91 points. So as things stand, we have a perfect goal differential advantage plus points scored on the season. We are 91 and 91 as things stand. So that's a pretty cool milestone. That's the big one. That feels good to get that +3 compared to +3 points. But there's one more that stands out even more than that I would love to see. That is possible. It is possible. But it's going to be tough. We have dropped a few points this season. We have not had a perfect record. If we were +3 goal differential per match, meaning if all 32 games were counted on a +3 equation, we would require 96. A perfect season would have been 96 points. Can we get to a +96 goal differential? That, of course, involves overcoming the 20. It was possible, but like I said, second half, I fear our ability to score goals as they go ultra defensive to guard against being down 10 men and already losing the game and just trying to not get embarrassed. Here's Jones. Nice cross, Gordon! How do you miss that? Near post is wide open. I know the keeper's going to guess near post and go for it, but it's going to be hard for him to make a save. And Gordon goes back far post and misses. Jones has missed so many free kicks from dangerous spots too, and that's full time. We needed a +7 to make that happen. We didn't get it. We needed a +3 on the goals to get to that 3.5 goals per match. I don't know what happened on that one. We scored. The assistant referee kept the flag down. The main ref called offside. We didn't even get a proper replay to know which way it was, one or the other. It looked like it was onside live, but I agreed with the AR on that call, but that doesn't mean that I was correct. I've been wrong so many times in diagnosing whether a play is onside or offside. The XG only just exceeds 2. The shots were definitely fewer in the second half. They even managed to get a few shots off themselves in that counterattack. It ended up being a pretty quiet half after that early disallowed goal. So here's the milestones we did hit. 91 points on the season, dominating the league. We'll go and look at the table briefly. But the 3.5 goals per game offensively, not quite. We came up 1 goal short of that landmark. But the goals against, we kept clean sheet, so we kept them at the magical number of 20, but we also kept it at less than 2 goals every 3 matches, which means we kept a 1 goal affair in 2 out of every 3 matches. We kept a clean sheet in 1 out of every 3 matches. And then some, a little bit more. And it's nice to be on that side of that landmark. Goal differential, we needed a +2 to get to the points matching our goal differential, and we did that. We had a +2. So we have 91 in our goal differential for the season, +91, and we have 91 points on the season. So we did hit that landmark that we came up just short of last season. And last season was near perfect. Last season was even better. Except that this season with some drop points. It made it a little bit easier to hit that landmark, didn't it? We did not get to that +3 for every match played, though. In fact, we came up quite a bit short. We were a good five short of that one. That, by the way, is how many points we dropped this season. Final table, 91 points, 91 goal differential, 32 matches played. Second place, Alberton Villa, 0 goal differential and 56 points. Keynsham Town, who we just defeated, had the best goal differential of anybody else with a +14, even after beating them by a couple goals today. 54 points for them. They beat Rochester on goal differential alone, so good for them on their behalf of maintaining third position by not getting hammered after going down to 10 men before halftime. But Alberton Villa do claim second place. Only a single promotion spot, so there is no playoffs. There is nothing else happening. That's it. We go up, Boodtown go down. Former man Ethan McLaren, been keeping up on him, and he's still with Sheffield United in the championship for now. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, because he has grown into now being a decent Premier League player. He's now good enough to play in the Premier League. He is professional. He has a strong fan opinion. He's very technical. Could improve a lot. We know that. He could be world class. He could be a wonder kid. Potentially, description-wise. Team player, versatility, of course, homegrown here. And, knows all the attacking positions and can even play striker a bit. Had an 8.4 rating in a 3-0 victory over Middlesbrough with a goal. Really strong performance for him. Apparently still valued at about 18 million, though. That's surprising that hasn't gone up since really breaking into the first team and showing himself to be quite the player. Here we are, Cup final. It's our first chance in the club's history at a double. Can we secure it here with a win? Godolphin Atlantic was only 14th in the league, but they are home for this one. And in a cup, anything can happen. We have lost this season. We have drawn this season. We did just have a dominating performance in which we only managed to win by 2 goals to wrap up the season. So things could happen. Speaking of things could happen, things are more likely to happen partially down to the fact that we have 2 players, Brooks, our defensive mid, and Jones, our left winger, who aren't here today because they are Welsh and they are playing for Wales at the U21 World Cup. And they're already gone for that. This is already 2 to 3 weeks after the end of the season here. And Atkins gets us on the board very early in the 2nd minute. Boy, we have been making a habit of getting some early goals. Redknapp with that cross. It gets cleared out, but Atkins quickly takes it off the foot of the attacking player who had picked up the clearance. And his first touch was a little strong. He didn't shield the ball well enough, and Atkins just came right around, took it away. But are they going to get a chance here? They certainly do get a shot off. Fish, after a couple other guys, eventually gets the final clearance. We have .01 XG right now, but lead 1-0. Corner kick, McDonald. We've now played 15 minutes, quarter of an hour. Nice pass there into Atkins. Atkins. There's a cross to Fish. It's cleared away. McFadden brings it back in. He's going to drop it off. Quintafera has been our best training player here this season, or of late anyway. Redknapp, nice cross there, and McDonald, penalty? Not sure how this is a penalty. I don't see it, but again, those are never seen. Keeper steps up, makes a massive save, and pounces on the rebound as well to secure that ball and stop the rebound score. Bick, not a bad penalty take there. That was a good guess from the keeper. Could have been better. Could have been better placed. It wasn't on the edges of the box by any stretch of the imagination, but Certainly wasn't a bad take on that penalty. I think that was just a good save. Gordon crosses. McDonald. There's two. And we've played just 20 minutes. Looks like we could be heading for that trophy after all. We've had just about all of the momentum so far. Spalding, now that they're trailing by 2, will they change tactics? Will they be aggressive? Penrice forced to make a save. That's their first on-target shot of the match. Shots are only 4-2 at this point. Just 2 goals. Could have had a third with the penalty, and yet really we're not that in control of this game. I mean, we are used to seeing 20, 25 shots a match and 2 or 3 goals. Here, we've got 2 goals from 4 and a missed penalty. Thornhill. McDonald, after the rebound was cleared. That's deflected. Out for another corner. McDonald will step up again. Bick on the far post. Can't get to it. Doesn't even jump. Thornhill beats his man at first, but initially, guy recovers, puts it out for the throw, and we head towards halftime. Are there any more highlights? No. We are into halftime with a 2-0 lead. 8-3 on the shots. XG definitely favoring us, but so much of that XG is that penalty. We have not attacked particularly well compared to what we're used to seeing with this team. Is this the absence of those 2 players? Is it making that big of a difference in our quality? Our opponent here is 14th in the league after all. This is not exactly a top-notch opponent. The top 3-4 teams in the league have regularly made things a lot tougher on us. The lower end of the league we have regularly dominated. We've already played an hour. We're getting no highlights here in the second half, so still not really dominating. McDonald switches the play out to McFadden, who sends Fish through. Fish with the cross. Far post to Gordon. Forces keeper to make the stop. It looks like that was headed for the upper corner. Schmizek's header rattles the crossbar on that one. So that hit the crossbar. I wasn't sure quite what happened, how that ball came back out. Now I know. I didn't hear the ding, but it hit the crossbar. DeFera, Thornhill, after a free kick. 70 minutes played. We are 20 minutes away from a double. It's our first ever trophy competition we've been involved in, and it could turn into a victory. McDonald, that's deflected. Bick can't get on the end of it. Bick's having a terrible game. Let's go ahead and sub him out. Why not? Trainer. Donnell Trainer coming in. Thornhill again. That's out for a goal kick. That was the crossbar again. It just had so much English on it that it spun back the other way and went out of bounds. Time's nearly up. It's only 2-0, so let's do a little bit of time wasting and playing for set pieces, but we'll keep everything else the same. Atkins, his clearance is deflected. They're going to get another chance at it, but Quintafera clears it away. Fish. Long ball ahead to no one. Knew he was double teamed under pressure and just got it away. And kept it in play. Kept the clock running. Trainer does what Bick could not do today, and that is score. Schmizek with that long ball over the top for Trainer. He's going to take a great first touch with the outside of the right boot. Takes a couple dribbles. Slots that under the leg of the keeper, who's had a really good day, and confirms the win. Confirms the trophy. It will be a league double. Now this is literally as minor of a competition as we're going to see, but it is really good for these teenagers to get their feet wet in a knockout competition and come away victorious. Even if we were heavy favorites. That part, less important. There's a different kind of pressure here. And they have stepped up to the challenge, and it's great to see. 3-0 victors, and that is 2 trophies in 1 season. How many seasons ahead of us will see multiple trophies? Certainly not all, because we are going to find ourselves playing in bigger cup competitions that could see us upset. We could be minnows that can defeat giants, but we will not defeat the actual giants. We will just defeat the giants in comparison to us, to our level, to our quality. We could maybe defeat a National League side. That would be the giants we can defeat. I don't think we're going to beat Southampton. We're not going to beat Sunderland. We're not going to beat Swansea. And we're certainly not going to beat the actual giants as we progress. But I could see us making some runs in a competition like the FA Cup. How soon till we enter? Tough to say. I don't know what level this mod is actually going to pick up those teams. But I would think within this database we should be coming into it here relatively soon. And then there are those minor trophies, those non-league trophies. Those are the ones we'll have a shot at in the seasons to come. Balance is back up to 800,000. It's in a healthy spot, but it's definitely not in a spot to be asking about training facilities again. They are done. The upgrade is done. But we don't have the money to afford the next level just yet. The last one cost nearly $1 million, or at least it cost about what we have in the bank right now. So the next one's definitely going to cost more than $1 million. It's going to be a while before we start asking about that. Reputation obviously is still obscure. It's going to take a lot longer than a couple of seasons to bring this up. But we'll have to keep working. We'll have to keep going, and eventually it'll come along. We do have Craig McDonald heading out, so we are going to be looking for a replacement for him. Since his deal was done, he came back, played 9 more matches, 1 off the bench, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7.44 over the last 5, 7.16 average rating is all. But again, that's not the entirety of the season, because when you pull it together, that's 29 league starts, plus 6 in the Walter C. Parson Cup that we just claimed victory in. 5 assists there. That's really good. 30 goal contributions plus 7. That is a fantastic turnaround there. He will be missed. He will absolutely be missed. Not our best player. Definitely a very good one, though. And will not be easy to replace. You can see, though, he is one of our longer-term players. He's now got 4 seasons with us. He had 19 appearances in that first year and 20 goals for Craig McDonald. Only 8 appearances in that second season, but you see how we did have multiple times here where he's gone to other clubs. The Middlesbrough one will be permanent. The Stevenage was one of those free transfers. Wraith was one of those free transfers where our minimum security saved us on losing these guys. But 23 appearances, 13 goals, and then that 7 more. So this is all 1 season's total. Didn't play a lot last year. I think he might have had a long-term injury. No, he's had no injury history. Curious as to why he was so few appearances. I suppose he was probably one of our starters in the first year, first intake, and had one of those better replacement players for year 2. So he ended up being one of those off the bench next options 12th man, I think is what it was. But then ended up back in the starting lineup this year. He's up to a 90 overall. In fact, we are now with Brody Bick and Schmizek. They are closing in on a 100. And that 100 was kind of that magic marker, that trigger zone. These guys that are 90 plus, really, all of them are a threat to have other clubs come in and offer. Really doesn't take much because our value is so low. Doesn't take much for teams to offer beyond that. But so far we've really lucked out on just, 2? Now 3 players, is it? Or is McDonald still just our second? McDonald still is just our second. So we lost Ethan McLaren a year ago. We lost Craig McDonald this season. He's already improved a couple points beyond where the deal was signed. He was a current ability 88 at the time that Middlesbrough picked him up in January. Just 14,000 the deal. And it sucks to lose him for so little, especially when we're doing okay making bank at this level. But that 1,000-seat stadium that's already been attempted to be expanded upon and then had failed to do so could be problematic going forward for us as we climb into higher divisions. That 1,000-seat stadium is not going to do much, and those 1,000 fans certainly will have grown a little bit. Get a 2,000-seat stadium, we're not going to suddenly seat 2,000. We don't have 2,000 fans. We have 1,000 plus. So maybe we're filling out 1,200 seats, 1,300 seats, but it's going to be a long time before we have the type of audience that's going to support us being a big club. So there are obstacles to overcome. It's not just a matter of, oh my goodness, you're going to be a Premier League champion in 7 years, 8 years. How far are we? 10th tier now. In 9 years. We are going to run into some issues. It's just these lower divisions that are easy, and why we're taking these lower divisions quite quickly. We do have 18-year-olds on the squad now, so we are finally starting to grow into adults. Ashley Jones, by the way, 46 goals and 19 assists with a 27.2 XG and an 8.28 rating. Easily will be the player of the season. Brody Bick, he was lost on one of those frees and we had to bring him back, so it's different for the entirety of his season. 7.69 rating overall for the year. 37 goals in 32 appearances. Good. 12 goals in 6 appearances in that Walter C. Parson Cup, except for in that final match where he really struggled. But that is not Ashley Jones territory, and that is also why looking at a player like McDonald and going, oh man, that sucks, we are losing him. Well, Jones has been better. Schmizek, Quintafera is developing so fast. This is 16-year-old. This is our intake player who got into the starting lineup and has just exploded. Trainer. Wait, are both of these guys? No, Quintafera was last year, wasn't he? Okay, so Quintafera was last year's intake. He got 4 appearances right at the end of the season, and this is his first year as a starter with 31 total appearances. Donnell Trainer is the one who was just in this intake, just joined the team, had 2 appearances off the bench, both in the cup, by me selected, got a goal and an assist in those 2 appearances. Of course, we just saw the goal version of that. The assist came in the other one, but that's very limited minutes, 7.55 rating in a very short period of time. He's going to be pretty good, I think. And he could be coming in as our replacement. Looks like he is going to be our replacement, not Tom Fish. Trainer. He's blown right past Tom Fish in a very short period of time, already to a 76 current ability. And it looks like Trainer will be replacing Craig McDonald in the coming season. That's twice that we've seen a player that we thought was going to come in and then ended up not coming into the side. For now, the weak links, Ollie Atkins, 57, only a 115 current ability. Ryan Gordon, Peter McFadden, and Herbie Penrose, our goalkeeper. Those are the 4 weak links, but we definitely have a core of very, very good players within this squad, and are certainly getting better. We are seeing improvement, and that's really good to see. The training facilities have improved enough. The staff, not so much, but young, hungry players getting playing time at a competitive level in the senior squad, even if it's down in a lower division, right now anyway, is finding us a certain amount of progression. It's not progressing them to a crazy point, but it's certainly bringing them along to a higher level. And if we can start getting a full first 11 that have that sort of ability and start getting some young bench players coming in that are also developing towards that level, the long-term sustainability of our performance could definitely push us up to that maybe League 2 stage before we're going to really fall into those complications of the stadium, the fan base, the club reputation, other teams coming in and buying our players and sweeping them out from under us. Those combination of factors of how good can we get, how can we continue to get better to finish climbing that ladder. Before we leave for this season, though, we've got a decent amount of money in the bank. We just hit the end of the season. So what sort of requests can we put in? There's improved training facilities. It's too soon for that. Professional status, not something I want to push for yet. Expanding the ground is absolutely one of those territories, but I think we want to be a little bit higher in terms of funding before we go asking about that. The board themselves wanted that. We agreed to that, and then it failed. Let's wait another year or so before we start pushing into that. Again, we don't have the butts to put in seats necessarily right now anyway. That's going to continue to grow. We'll have a full stadium. Yes, we're missing out on some money, but that reputation will still grow. The fan base will still grow regardless of the stadium capacity. Once we have a larger stadium capacity, we'll just fill additional seats as opposed to what we would fill now. And maybe we would then see a larger upgrade in the expansion than we would to do it now. Because we already tried it. They were adding 125 seats or something like that. We need them to add 1,000 seats or 500 seats. A more significant expansion in one go that will help us out longer term than just right now, just here and now. The coaching course is definitely a good one that we could apply. I'd like to be helpful for the team training. Right now, I'm not. So we're going to start with that one. But I'm not going to stop right there. Staff, we're moving to a higher level. We're doing well. We just want to double. Can we add the number of coaches allowed so that we can get a little bit more going in terms of growth amongst the players, and allow me to start specializing a little bit more as the club manager, so I'm not having to train 5-6 different categories and be utterly awful at it. So we're going to ask that as well. With little change to our first 11 over the last couple of seasons, what we're seeing right now for our best 11 is all young players. So none of those current Ability 1 guys are left involved in this first 11. But Ethan McLaren and McDonald are both in it. How long will it be until someone overtakes them, as they had a pretty limited window in which they were a part of our club? Remember how we spent 1 year with a decreased youth category and then turned right around and got it improved again? Well, it took a year for that to kick in, so we are going back from category 2 to category 1 for our youth rating. Estimated cost yearly is $490,000 as we are semi-pro. That's expensive, and that could trigger a difference in our finances in the coming season. But here is our board response to both the coaches allowed question and the coaching course, which I've never been allowed to go on one yet. They were afraid of losing me before, and here they are still rejecting it. We appreciate that's a valid thing to want to do. We fear that bettering yourself could lead to a bigger club coming in for your services. Therefore, inclined to say no. They've said this multiple times to me now. Let's ask them, though, if we can do it. Oh, yeah, one question and no. That's exactly what it did the last time I asked at the end of last season. Also rejected is the coaches allowed. We believe there are already enough coaches at the club for players to receive high quality coaching. So right now we're having a rough time getting the board to agree to things. I think partially because we're still in the very much lower reaches. I think when we stop being non-league, there's a point there where they're going to start waking up and going, hey, we can become big time. We want to become big time. We're going to push to another level. Right now, we've gone from the 10th tier to the 9th tier. Nothing's really changed much about the competition or our level. Pretty similar down in the lower reaches. I asked about current workload, and they have agreed. So I have convinced them that we need more coaches. So at least we've had one success here. I mean, the count was 2. It's going to 3 for regular coaches. But that one more is going to allow us to do something like, say, get a goalkeeping coach. That can really decrease workload because they can take 2 categories off of myself, and that's going to, cut it down from, 5. So yeah, currently I am the goalkeeping coach, and I'm awful at it. I mean, I have a 1-1-1 in the goalkeeping category, so anything is going to be improvement on that and should help Penrace and others get better. It's also going to take me from 5 total categories down to 3, where maybe I'll start to see gains, because right now I have a 2 in fitness. It has improved. Look at that. It's 1 star now. I'm a 1-star fitness coach. I actually had higher than that before. I had a 3 in fitness when I started this playthrough. It's down to a 2. I had a 3 because I literally couldn't dump any more points into mental than what I was already putting in. So I had 2 total points that had to go into coaching somewhere. So I figured, hey, fitness is like the easiest area to get into. It's a single attribute. So I put it in there, and it's gone from a 3 down to a 2. The determination, I believe, started at 13, is at 13. It might have been 12. People management and motivating have each added a point or 2. But that's it. I think we're +3 and -1. We've gained 2 attribute points in how many seasons now? 3? 3 years? Ouch. That's ouch. That's 4 years. 4 years, right? We're 4 years in already, aren't we? 3 years with our youth. 2.5? Gosh, brain. I can't figure it out right now. But the quality of coaching obviously exists in certain areas, just not the others. And while I could pick up a single category, I could pick up an attacking technical coach. I think I like the idea of trying to pick up two categories and get some support for our goalkeepers. It's hard to get goalkeepers develop compared to other positions, or at least in my experience. That takes us into the off season. That takes us down 1 player, but with every intake, we're getting more than that. But we're starting to see now with every intake, it's not the entire intake is part of the team or half the intake is part of the team. We're getting down to 1 player or 4 players from the intake that are going to ever see first team football. So we're starting to look a little bit more like a regular team in that regards. The others, they're filling out the squad, and we're already starting to see, we saw it for the first time this year, I declined 2 players, 3 players from the intake, didn't sign them on at all. And more that's going to be a regular thing where we're picking and choosing just the best players, just keeping 5 guys. How many of those grow and develop and become sale worthy to earn us some money? Because we are going to need that money. The limitations on that stadium, at some point, we're not going to have this awesome improving balance, and finances are going to get a lot trickier, and it is going to require player sales at some stage. But right now, player sales aren't bringing us in money. What could eventually bring us in money is player sales with profit stipulations that would they then get sold further. When McLaren gets sold for 18 million, that's when we're going to see millions go in the bank further down the line. And we're going to have to rely on a stream of that. McDonald, I know we got 50% on him. Did we get anything on McLaren? McDonald has a 50% sale on profit. But remember, profit, I mean, we're talking about 10K, so they're subtracting that. Big time profit coming. His value right now apparently is $19.5 million. McLaren, we don't know what his value is. It's still triggered at that $18 million, and that's not good. I need to get a scout so we can figure this out. We have a 30% sale on, and I know that's got to be well over 25, maybe 30 million by this point. So he's been away for a full year. He was signed a year and a half ago. He's now a young adult. Will he be moved soon? He's a heck of a player right now, though. Can't mark for the life of him, or tackling, or concentration. Leadership, positioning aren't great, but he is growing into pretty dang good player. Squad player, technically. I think he's going to be a lot more than that in the coming season. And could be moving on for big money. He could be moving on this season. I mean, it's entirely possible. So I'm excited by the prospect of money coming from there. But soon enough, I think that's going to be our main source of the money to drive us forward. We're going to get literally millions of dollars coming in through these deals. And those are going to funnel into the expanded stadium, into the training facilities, so on and so forth, to continue to see us grow. That is going to do it for this episode and this season. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.